I'm Georgia, this is Travis, who's 10 weeks.
I'm Zara.
What's your kind of personal opinions on breastfeeding? Do you breastfeed?
I started to breastfeed when he was first born, and I had to stop just purely because of the difficulties when you're going out in public and stuff like that. A lot of people don't agree with it, and you find it hard to stop and just stop and breastfeed. Really, it's kind of difficult just to.
It's inconvenient as well.
Yeah, it's the inconvenience of obviously just undressing yourself and getting the baby attached and everything like that. You don't really want to sit there for half an hour in a restaurant when other people are looking at you like in disgust, really.
Did you have some kind of really bad reactions to it from other people?
I did when I used a baby changing area once just to feed him, and I had a dad come in and look at me in disgust. I mean, I wasn't really particularly worried about it, but he was, so I had to sort of finish up and go. I didn't have any problems with breastfeeding just personally, just purely because it was something that I really wanted to do. I was quite upset when I had to give it up though.
What do you think the council can do to kind of prevent mothers like yourself to kind of?
I think the council could put sort of more individual rooms out there rather than sort of a gathering room. Like I know that mother cares have them, which is convenient and it's nice because it's all mums. But rather than the big sort of open baby changing rooms that you have by the toilets, maybe sort of individual cubicles so that you could sit in there and make it a bit more personal between you and your child, and you could have a bit skin to skin.
And maybe instead of just having it in the shopping centre, maybe further afield, like different cubicles, say around town in different shops as well.
Yeah, making it more accessible.
Or more public toilets, make a special room for them.
What do you think of Brighton, the council trying to kind of get Brighton on the map for being baby friendly? What do you think is baby friendly?
It's quite good compared to some places, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean Brighton's definitely more baby friendly than places like Crawley and Eastbourne, definitely. I think it could be improved just slightly though. I mean obviously to help the young mums who do want to do breastfeeding, as well as go out and do your shopping as well. I mean sometimes it's quite hard to just sort of go out, especially when there's only one room. And that's what he thinks.
Is there any did you have any thoughts on kind of, aside from just babies, slightly older kids, is there much for them to do?
Well, it's exactly the same.
Yeah, it's just difficult when you've got two children and one's just a slightly bit older. Maybe sort of like with the cubicles, just put a few sort of soft toys, not like tons, but just a few soft toys in there, so that they can sort of jump about on them. Keep themselves just slightly occupied while mum's got to do what she's got to do for the baby. Really, it's difficult. Obviously, the older children don't get quite so much attention with it and find themselves struggling and getting a bit bored.
Isn't it?
What about kind of working mothers, working with the baby? Is it possible? What
Yeah.
have you done to kind of maybe encourage it a bit more?
I just think that there's a lot of breastfeeding campaigns around, and I feel that if it wasn't for a lot of breastfeeding that I'd known about, then I probably wouldn't have done it. However, once I did look into it, it was something the breastfeeding classes were made quite accessible for me. So and driving helps as well, so that you've got to get from A to B, obviously. And there's enough information out there. It is just really hard to look for. But if it's something you really want to do, you will go for it.
Do you have any kind of anything you want to add about babies in Brighton or your kind of opinions?
I don't know what the same sort of opinions do. We've discussed it before, haven't we, about breastfeeding, and because I've been out quite a lot, it's just not always the best times, not always got space in certain places. You have to wait, and it's just inappropriate for little ones who need to feed.
Yeah.
So a lot of people do go onto the bottle purely because it's inconvenient. If you do have stations around where you can breastfeed and have the space and facilities to do so, I think it would be far better, and it would encourage mothers to stay breastfeeding or to breastfeed in the first place.
A lot of places also, they won't heat up your baby milk, so you have to bring water and powder so that they will heat up the water for you, which is obviously made still complicated. Even when you're made to feel that you can't breastfeed, you're still made to feel awkward when you want to heat up a bottle, so it makes it even worse for mums that do want to go out with their babies. You're told to stay at home, which is unfair. Why shouldn't we have the opportunity to go out as well? I mean, they've got to eat just the same as we have. I just feel that lifts as well. A lot of people use the lifts in Brighton that don't really have to use the lift, just for the sake that they might have a few more shopping bags. Unfortunately for me, I've got a Quinny buggy, so I can get on the escalators. However, I have been told off for using escalators before in the past. But I just find it awkward waiting for hours for lifts as well. I think they should be made a bit more accessible for mums.